On today's World Insight, cutting-edge technology and innovation at the ongoing China Import Expo in Shanghai. Two Chinese tech executives with an insider look on industry advances. And a stir at the Import Expo over artificial intelligence application. Up close with an AI company for what's new on the menu.
This is Shanghai, China's biggest city, a global financial hub. And now the city that hosts CIIE, a gigantic import expo China runs to share its market opportunities and contribute to world economic recovery. Join me on the sidelines of CIIE to meet smart business people and brilliant minds and be inspired by their wisdom and can-do spirit. Hello and welcome to World Insight with me, Tian Wei, from Shanghai at the 3rd China International Import Expo, also known as CIIE. Businesses are the backbones for research and development in OECD countries where most of the multinational companies are headquartered. Increasingly, it is so in China. Much of China's R&D usage is geared toward commercial applications done by companies. Though China's latest 5-year plan suggests that the country aspires to make major breakthroughs in key core technologies and become a global leader in innovation. What does all these mean for tech companies operating in China, both long-time multinational companies and new rising Chinese entrepreneurship? I asked them this question. Rui Liang, Vice President of ABB Group, Head of ABB Robotic Division in China. Pang Xingjian, Vice President of the Industry Automation China at Schneider Electric. James Pei, President of the Ford Paradigm, a Chinese entrepreneur specializing in artificial intelligence. When I visited Rui Liang at ABB Shanghai, he showed me to his favorite corners, a showroom full of robots, and a factory producing robots for both the Chinese and the international markets.
Okay, I'd like to show you, we call this IRB 1100. This is a fast robot and very high accuracy robot in the world for such kind of small robots.
Fastest and the most accurate.
Exactly.
Wow, take a look.
Yeah, that is the future robots, to be honest.
Okay.
Okay, then we'd like to show you another very popular one. We call this one Yumi. Actually, it means you and me. So it's about we can work together with this robot. It's the first collaborative robot of ABB.
So it works with humans.
Exactly.
The reason you have the rubber here is to make it safe, right?
Exactly. You can touch it and then you can work together.
So this is already a very different generation of robots.
Yeah, this is we are working more and more in that direction. If you change it more and more also in the robotics industries also.
Okay. You got bigger ones to show me?
Yeah, of course. This is also I'd like to show you a very interesting and classic robot here. It's a big robot, right? Look
Absolutely.
Here. Yes.
Gigantic.
Actually, yeah, it's using a lot in the auto OEM factory for manufacturing the car bodies. So the application here is a spot welding. It's fabricate the car body. It's very powerful and using a lot.
Okay. Certainly, it sounds very well.
Yes, of course.
You got other babies to show me?
Yeah. Let's go.
Okay.
Okay. This is our current factories. Look at here. Here's the testing and collaboration stations. In next year, we are going to build a new mega factories. And this factory will be 100,000 unit output per year.
Quite cool, actually.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Mr. Liang, good to see you. Thank you for showing me around to see all your favorite babies.
Thank you. Welcome to ABB.
You know, robotics is such a hot field, so much competition for technology, for talents. How you've been trying to still maintain where you are, be the pioneer of robotics in China and beyond, of course.
ABB actually we have a long history with China. That's over 100 years. In these years, ABB building up that capacity and also have a lot of talent join ABB. We work together, and then in 2009 we moved in here. So we set up and built up. This is the biggest manufacturing centers in China here. ABB only have 3 factories all over the world for robot manufacturing. So here is one of them and the biggest of them. So that's the reason we have building up a comprehensive value chain robot manufacturing here, including the R&D, manufacturing, sales and marketing, integrations, and after service. So we are the full value chain, the business building up here. So we are truly international, but also China company.
There's a lot of debate about technology, of course, and the rules related to technology and geopolitics related to technology. What does that mean for your research, your R&D team, and also your development of robotics related to China and beyond?
Yeah, this is, if you look at the robotics technology point of view, the industry robotics is start from 1970s. What I mentioned is ABB kind of micro computer electrical robots. So during that time, the first robot invented in Europe. After that, that's the robot, industry robot. They expand worldwide for the different kind of application and the different kind of segments like automotive, electronics, maybe the plastic and metal fabrications, and food and beverages. There's a lot of application in the worldwide. So the research, the technology is about, we are thinking how we can improve the production efficiencies. But today it's all related to how you can building up your manufacturing more flexible, automated, digitalizations, and even including the AI, the artificial intelligence. So that kind of a trend, it's underway. So ABB China here, the R&D team, we of course, if we adapt to such kind of new trend and adapt to the new technologies, we try to put such kind of or integrate such kind of technology into our robot and also the applications.
Geopolitics also play a role here. Some have been talking about, the limits of technology and innovation for the future. What if geopolitics become a bigger factor? Are you worried? As an international company that is well known for innovation and well known for manufacturing.
Basically, it's about, if you look at human histories, if you look at the technology developments, so then all the time the technology is helping the world, the people have a better life. So when you really have whatever the instructive technology, such kind of emerging technology, all the time when you happen, you will have a little bit worries. But at the end, we can see that most of them, or all of them, if they are continue, can develop them all adapted by the people, by the whole world. They are just made life better. So what we are thinking, just like the robots, and the people is also concerned about the robots, right? But basically, we can see that when the timing is, how to say, it's when the time is approved. The technology, when such kind of technology is suitable or better to improve the human life, they will continually survive. And then this is also in our hand. We can this kind of technologies.
So you're saying that as long as the technologies are the right ones, yes. You know, whether it is politics or geopolitics or other limits, it would not be a problem?
Yeah, this is about the decision is made by the people. The decision is on our hand. We can decide what kind of technology or whatever things you decided by the human. Of course, this is sometimes it's a little bit complicated and not the easy answer, but then basically look at the histories. All the things is decided by the people. If you go back 1 century years ago, and then when you're talking about the electrical, this is also the things. But we can see the electrical is everywhere. It's better for the people.
Robotics, artificial intelligence, and some of the latest technologies brings the horizon much brighter and bigger. I just wonder, what does that mean when you have enormous amount of R&D here in China and also have one of the 3 biggest factories for robotics here in China? What does that mean for the local economy? And how do you see the needs over here? What are some of the major areas that you want to work on? You think that will be the future?
If you look at such kind of intelligent artificial technologies in China, we can see that they have been very good developments. I think there are maybe a few reasons. The first one, China, we have the biggest application scenario and also the rich data we can use. The second one, we have the policy from whatever the local or central government, they support that. So we really want to using a lot of AI to improve a lot of things. For ABB point of view, the AI, it's very important technologies together future with 5G, Internet of Things, and maybe the future, autonomous, the drive autonomous, such kind of things. So for us, we want to integrate them into our applications, into our robots, step by step. Today we are using a lot about the AI into our application there. We have some samples, for example, how to using the AI technology to improve the automation level and flexible in our application with the customer. For some of their application scenario, the customer is happy with them.
Right. And finally, before we go, CIIE, of course, this is already the 3rd year. I know ABB has a huge stage over there, and you got some of your babies also being exhibited over there. So tell me, what would these kind of occasions mean for you? Of course, trying to put in a lot of money just to build the momentum and the exhibition area, but how much benefits can business have out of occasions like this?
CIIE is very important for us. We have joined this exhibition earlier in 2018, so now it's the 3rd time. The previous 2 exhibitions, actually ABB, we spend a lot of effort there because we think this is an opportunity for us. And then in this year, we are even thinking more. So then basically, we have over 80 new R&D products and coming from 14 countries to participate in the CIIE. We're showing a very interesting future, or now, currently also using now, how to do the medicine testing in the lab. We are using our Yumi to doing how to testing the different kind of in the medical area. This is an important area. ABB is a focus on that. We want to show in there into the different kind of application scenario. So we are confident for this CIIE. We think this is a great platform for us to show and then to also to support the China economic development. We are confident for that. So that's the reason we registered. It's going to participate in next year.
Mr. Liang, what a pleasure meeting you, and thank you so much for showing me around. I am already in love with many of the babies that you have over here. They're fascinating.
Thanks a lot.
This is Shanghai, China's biggest city, a global financial hub. And now the city that hosts CIIE, a gigantic import expo China runs to share its market opportunities and contribute to world economic recovery. Join me on the sidelines of CIIE to meet smart business people and brilliant minds and be inspired by their wisdom and can-do spirit. Bidding goodbye to Liang, I headed toward the site of CIIE. At a relatively quiet corner of the Schneider Electric exhibition areas, I met Pang Xingjian, Vice President of Industry Automation Division in China. He started by telling me how important it is for companies like Schneider Electric to work on integrated platforms and standards worldwide. Mr. Pang, what a pleasure to see you at CIIE.
Me too. My pleasure also.
Automation, that's a fascinating area. You've been working in this area for 20 years. What is the latest trend? Can you brief us about that?
Yeah, actually, automation has been a quite traditional topic since 1950 or 1960. And the first module of program control logic has been used for automobile industry. And since then, for different sector of industry, such as continuous process and discrete industry, we've seen a lot of evolution of automation in those segments. Meanwhile, we also see every company has developed its own technologies, such as different system, different communication, field bus, different platform for customer to use, and it cannot be easily connected. That makes some end users or system developer confused. How can I make the automation system to be compatible with Industry 4.0, and how to make the OT, IT to be much easier integrated? That's a big question. And now Schneider Electric bring open system technologies, what we call EcoStruxure automation expert, to make sure that the latest IT technology could be used also for OT. And nobody cares about the hardware. Nobody cares about which brand I'm using. The user can only take care of the system architecture, to build the object, to build the template, to really think about how to make the system function to be very, very effective. And that makes automation much sexier.
I would assume it cannot be done without much challenge, right?
Of course, of course.
So what are some of the major challenges in this regard to really bring the system flat in a way?
Yeah.
They say the world is flat. Yeah. How can we make the system flat?
So firstly, the user habit need to be changed, because some of the technicians get used one brand technology, or others, they need to learn new technology. Fortunately, there's more and more new technicians graduated from university. What they grasp is latest technologies, and they are much familiar with IT software developing tools rather than traditional technical tools. This makes the user habit changed much easier. And secondly, I think we need to break the silo of different companies. For example, I'm currently using a company. Meanwhile, if I want to connect another company's product or system, in traditional way, it will be very expensive. It will be very difficult. And this also brings some barrier over customer user habit. And for me, for Schneider Electric, we think it can bring these difficulties, but also we need to consider how to break these barriers, and with this new technology, makes these barriers can be broken easily.
On the other hand, how do you see the speed of technological innovation in your field? Many believe that it is extremely fast. And how would you make sure when you're working on a platform that would eventually, in a sustainable way, I think the last thing you want is, after so many years of efforts, it's been in regeneration. So what do you make of that?
Digitalization makes a lot of things changed. For example, our traditional industry, no matter it's a continuous process or discrete industry, they are facing digital transformations. And people are looking for the higher efficiency, the more safety, cybersecurity, and the sustainable growth. All this can be done by digital transformations. For example, with what we call the industry Internet of Things, can make a lot of data to be connected and also collected, and also use artificial intelligence and other way to really solve the issues which cannot be easily solved through traditional systems. So I think digital makes things change significantly, and that's the only way to use digital transformation for sustainable growth.
Overall, on this map of technological innovation, particularly about automation where you are, where is China?
Oh, China has been developing very fast in latest years, and China become firstly very open-ended, and that's why we have CIIE. As CIIE, Schneider Electric has joined all three tiers of CIIE. In this year, we expanded our booth by 2 times than last 2 years, and because we are very confident that China has the opportunity to offer not just the local company but also global companies like MAC to develop its business. Secondly, we also learn a lot from our China users, our customers, that to give a lot of feedback, suggestions, or requests to make us progress. And we believe China has progressed significantly in latest years for technology. So China Global, which is exchange quite a lot. So we are a global company, but also we are a local company.
I want to ask you that question. You know, technology, as you said, is already going here, but it seems some of the geopolitical system issues are going backward, and people were even talking about the Cold War. So how do you see this ever bigger divide between what we really can do for our common good and, it seems, our limits these days from all of these geopolitics?
Firstly, we think this world can be a win-win world. You know, from our traditional way between supplier and the customer, we win, customer lose, or customer win, supplier lose. Actually, it's not. Because with the latest technology, we can share the benefit between supplier and customers. I believe the world is very safe to do. And from this open world, firstly, we see this is fantastic that so many companies come to China. You know, for Schneider Electric, we've been staying in China for our company for more than around 30 years. And we've been developing progressively with the China economic openness and reform development, and we benefit for this. And the world will be continue open, just like technology. And nobody can really work alone, and even those countries. And through this open world for automation, and I think we can still work as a partner, as a strategic partner, that we can benefit for each other. We can expand the value chain upstream, downstream, and also we can expand our friend circle through our self and to build up the platform to offer opportunity for medium, small companies, for startups to bring the latest technologies. So the world is open, bring a lot of opportunity. So I believe the world will be set.
It seems there are a lot of people who agree with you. Just listen to the noise behind. There are a lot of exhibition booths. They're trying to do all these promotions and events and exchanges. Having said that, will hope, will belief become reality? That's the question.
Of course, of course. I believe it will be reality that everybody will count on each other, especially on this digital world, that every people, every device will be connected, and the data will be shared, of course, with cybersecurity and with data privacy, with people privacy protected. But the data will be shared, and the data value will be used to maximize the value for the world, for the association, for the community, and also for the customer, for the suppliers, for all the stakeholders, as you said, all the stakeholders. I believe the world will become much, much stronger through this transformation, digital transformation.
China and Europe, there are a lot of technological cooperation, scientific research cooperation as well, and it's becoming very exciting. As a company headquartered in Europe, in France in fact, how do you see the potential of this, both in the disruptive innovation and certainly in the adaptive innovation?
Yeah. In past years, let's say maybe 10 years ago or even 5 years ago, that's much single way to introduce the technology from Europe to China.
One way?
Yeah, one way.
But now it goes two ways?
Yes, it goes two ways. And because China becoming so fast on new technology, we see more and more China local companies and also local technologies could be also benefit for such amazing companies. And now it's become a by-way technology exchange. This is the first thing. And the second thing is that China becomes the biggest massive market. And because the size, also the customer requirement becomes so dynamic, actually we learn from our customers. We need to consider to have more R&D in China to develop the product, the solutions for China, and then we can introduce to other countries. So now we have 4 R&D centers around China and more than 1,000 R&D technical engineers based in China. So we are one of the 3 R&D centers, worldwide centers of Shanghai Electric in China. So you can imagine that we will have more China developed offer for China customers, but also for global customers.
I found it much more informative talking to the savvy businessmen at the CIIE than listening to the politicians harp on about tech wars. On innovation and the prospect of it, I also talked to Chinese entrepreneurs. James Pei from the Fourth Paradigm is one of them. Standing in the middle of the company's new office space near Zhongguancun, also known as Beijing Silicon Valley, he's obviously quite proud of what he and his team have achieved.
For the academic, that the cities adopt this one.
So this is actually a place for all the engineers?
Yeah, mostly maybe 80% the people engineers located in this building. Yeah.
I see. So how many engineers you have right now?
Almost 400 is engineering or some math experts. Yeah.
Some of the computer competition champions even.
Yeah.
So how would you attract all of these best talents to come to the company, which is still an entrepreneurship so far?
Yeah, I think those we have the two angles. Firstly is how to say have a dream. Another one is become the world-class engineering, especially in the such like the sales area. That's such like Oracle's vice president, SAP's our vice president, and even IBM. So we have a lot of people come from some kind of MNC like that. And in our engineering part, so we have a lot of people from Google, from any other internet giant. So we just try to combine these different results together, become one culture. Yeah.
That's going to be tough for a manager like you.
Yeah, very diversify.
What is the best trick to bring them together?
Such like that.
What is it then?
This is a competition internally that they encourage the people have one
Snap
idea.
your fingers is called.
Yes, the other one is to change the world.
To have an internal competition.
Absolutely. They can use the different people's angel perspective and the different people's advantage in the skill or experience put together and make customer value and to build a solution in 3 days and to highly competition internally.
To bring the best out of them.
Yeah.
Without paying a buck.
Yeah, but a lot of work.
Yes, okay, there we go. We already see some of those. Yes, nice. James firmly believes his company's huge potential is in China, Europe, and the rest of Asia. So tell me about how a tech company like yours, particularly in the artificial intelligence, one of the areas that certainly attracts a lot of eyeballs, but at the same time could be the victim to geopolitics. How you, as an entrepreneur, trying to struggle with all of these uncertainties?
Yeah, this is a very tough question for us because even we are small, but we have an ambitious strategy is globalization. Not only the China marketing, but also the Euro marketing, the Asia Pacific is all important marketing we try to focus on.
I did notice you didn't say the United States.
Yes, because in the U.S. we think that it's very sensitive so far. Because we are so small, we could not want to try to make our investment now. Is have the good progress, but in U.S. So far we could not have a very clear judgment there. For this question, we think that fundamentally the economic growth is from the marketing and the technical development. So I think that we can represent some kind of technical development. We have the cutting edge the technology, but in the marketing level, that we try to protect the data from the customer's private right, and we try to give the customer and the company a very good ROI solution. Let them use some kind of data to satisfy or serve the customer. But they will have a lot of complexity we could not avoid and we could not solve.
You have seen the 14th five-year plan China just put out. A grand plan. China has this every 5 years, and this time also. And it focused so much on innovation, particularly innovation homemade in a way. So how do you see the potential of artificial intelligence development and competition in this market here in China? And do you think, from an entrepreneur's perspective, there's much likely to be still intense interactions between China, the U.S. and Europe and Asia Pacific, and even Africa, on technologies, on adaptation of innovation, and also on sharing of the market and strategies? Do you see much of that to happen in the near future?
To be honest, maybe in the short term, a lot of phase there. We could not see that through very clearly. And very ambitious that so far in this case, I can present a high-tech company in China. We have the cutting-edge technology, we have the trend, we have the data, and we have the support from the government. But if you can see the long term that we think we can face a lot of struggle and the difficulty in the globalization. But I think this is the trend. No people can stop it. maybe it can slow down a little bit, but it could not stop it. So like I said, the economical development fundamentally is driven by the technical development and the marketing. That the traditional company, maybe they want to have the more market share in China because we are the bigger one. But China have the good technology. They can use that to have more market share globally. This is the trend. We cannot avoid. From the entrepreneur perspective, so far we must solve my problem. It's not a historical problem.
When you look at some of the companies, Huawei, for example, Tencent and some of the others, their latest experiences, do you see that as fair? Do you also, though, as a young entrepreneur yourself, just starting your empire away, feel kind of fortunate because you are not, because of the size, not necessarily being scrutinized as much as they were or they had been?
Yeah. So far, this is for us is not the same question or challenge. We are still a tiny one, but we also can learn from them. If you can go back the last 2 decades, Chinese so proud globalization companies, Huawei. I think in that area they have their competition advantage. But in the next stage, in the China company, or China is the R&D driven, technical driven company, they will face the different scenario or pace, how they can develop. This period for us is extremely difficult one. But like I said, that we can overcome. But we cannot say that the time is 3 months or 3 years.
I know you and your colleagues are coming from everywhere. For an entrepreneur, of course, you want to have all the talents possible. Coming from the Chinese private sector, coming from multinationals. You used to work for a multinational company yourself, actually an American one. How do you see, with the ongoing geopolitics and the different stage of development for multinational companies in China, how would you be able to attract the best talents you could ever have?
Actually, so for us, very exciting experience for the CIIE. I just been involved in the CIIE in the first one, and in that time I'm the SAP's vice president, and we have a very beautiful stage. Then all the governors come here, so we can give you a very good story that is named Zhang Guoqing. In that time, is Tianjin the vice mayor, and they come to our stage just talk like a friend. He just tell me that in the past 2 decades, he also actually is a user for SAP. So in that time, he think SAP is very powerful and very attractive. But he just, to be honest, you are old. You need innovation. You need localization. I have a lot of talk with the governor in the several years. But this is a very good talk with the governor, because this is very equally friendly and such like a friend. He just gives some advice, and he just think how to help us. So this is a very good memory for us, for foreign company in the CIIE.
So actually, they want to welcome foreign investors into their localities. Yeah. Even the number 1, number 2 guy of the city come out and say hello, and come to my place. I'm going to give you support.
Yeah. Yeah. So your question, I think, for the multinational company, we still have a lot of things to learn from them. Not only the technical one, but some management one, operation one, and even the culture one. So we think we can attract the talent from them, and we also should learn from them how to run the business, not only in a regional market, but the global one. For Paradigm, it's an AI company. And in this year, for us, it's very tough. In the half of the year, we have to suffer from the epidemic. I think for the CIIE, this is very proud that we can involve in this meeting, and it's very important for us to show our cutting-edge technology.
What are some of these technologies you would like to showcase in front of the world audience?
In China, actually, we have a slogan. It means AI for everyone. For example, if in China, if you use one credit card, so the 80% of the AI computing is from 4 Paradigm. so that they can help you to prevent some the bad people to steal your money, or if you go to global, you want to have some transactions that naturally the banking will call you whether this is your behavior. In the first several years, you say, oh, it's so nice, the people take care of us. But now that no people call you, it's just because AI know just your behavior.
The privacy of consumers are extremely important, and there have been a lot of reporting about the infringement of personal information. So how do you see the importance of that, and how you've been making your efforts in order to solve some of the problems?
For paradigm that we have the fundamentally rule is I do not trade off the data. Actually, that our platform is not to try to identify who is James, who is the teacher Tian, but we just to compute the trend. The people like Mr. James, what kind of behavior they will have, and what kind of service maybe they will satisfy. But actually, the machine didn't know who is the James. Yeah.
And I have noticed that the sign of your company, you know, the logo, English is bigger even than the Chinese characters.
Yeah.
And you've got the slogan all written down in English. It certainly shows your global ambition there.
Yeah, actually, you know, even we are a small company, we have a hungry employee. You know, we have the global view. And we're also focused in the regional marketing. We have the global ambition. So far, and we slogan is AI for everyone. It's not for every Chinese one.
James, what a pleasure. I had a wonderful time in your place.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
With that, we're coming up to the end of today's program on the discussion of business and innovation. I'm Tian Wei. On behalf of my team here in Shanghai and in Beijing, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.